Well, good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this does not work without you guys. So shout out to you guys. I'm going to be leaving here in about 2.5 hours because I am headed on a little trip, and don't worry, I will keep you up to speed on all that is the Dallas Cowboys because that's what I do. I've been busting a hump today because we got 12 of those Joe Barty trophies that are heading out the door, the racks and everything else, because I'm going to make sure I take care of business before I go. But anyway, speaking of taking care of business, it was kind of interesting because this morning I put out my video where I said Jerry Jones has changed. You know, Jerry Jones was talking about, the fact that as the GM and owner that you can't fire yourself. Although we like to say, Jerry, you can fire yourself. We'll let you do that. I mean, you did keep a coach on the last year of his contract. You did do that. So, you can do anything you want because you are the business owner. But be that as it may, he basically said that, hey, I am going to do things differently, and I dare say that the Dallas Cowboys have. In past years, I've said things like, I would have loved to have seen us gone to get Calais Campbell when he was a free agent from the Cardinals. People said he was too old, he only gets 7 or 8 sacks and, no big deal, and he's, too expensive. But I look at the littered landscape of all the free agent guys that we signed that never did anything. Basically, you could have paid a Calais Campbell to be here. I said the same thing about linebacker Demario Davis. Instead of signing a guy like him, we drafted Leighton Vander Esch. I dare say that had we been able to have signed Demario Davis, that we'd be looking at things a little differently. Not that I'm saying that Vander Esch is bad, but he's missed 13 games. And in that period, Demario Davis is one of the best linebackers in football and hasn't missed any time. But be that as it may, I have been literally screaming for years how much the defensive tackle is important. And you can look back to the Dallas Cowboy great teams, and we always had great defensive tackles like Russell Maryland and Leon Lett, or you can go back to Randy White and of course Mr. Cowboy himself, Bob Lilly. This modern Cowboys team has always looked at defensive linemen and safeties as an afterthought, and our defense has suffered because of it. Now, I pointed out when, there was rumors that Seattle was interested in trying to trade Jarran Reed, I said, go get that guy. Or if he was going to be cut, definitely get that guy. All you got to do is sign a check. And if you're one of those people that looked and said, we should sign Ndamukong Suh. Well, Ndamukong Suh is a few years older, quite a few years older. Jarran Reed is 28 years old, and he's in the prime of his career right now. Jarran Reed, 6'3". He's got the length that the Cowboys always like their defensive linemen, 306 pounds, although I think he's slightly more than that. Last season, and this is the thing that people, when I say he had 6.5 sacks, they're like, oh, okay, that's not a lot of sacks. But you have to understand what a defensive tackle is. Because people said to me, I was in the workshop working and doing a live stream, and somebody asked, they said, would you rather have KJ Wright or Jarran Reed? I'd rather have Jarran Reed. You can draft another linebacker, and I'd like to have both. But if it had to be, I have one or the other, for me, pound for pound, the biggest buck, or every dollar that you spend on defense, you get your money's worth on defensive tackle. The reason I say that is because a great defensive tackle will make you better at all 3 levels. Jarran Reed is going to require double teams, and if he's not, he's getting to the quarterback. And if he's getting to the quarterback, hang on for a second, guys. Okay, so sorry about that. That was my daughter. I'm going to go to the airport in a couple hours, so I'm trying to get this stuff in. But pound for pound, if you've got a nose tackle who requires double teams, the quarterback is not going to get comfortable. He is going to throw the ball quicker You're going to have his hands up in his face, which means you're going to have tip passes. You're going to have him getting happy feet because he's seeing that. If you remember the Super Bowls that Tom Brady's lost, they all have one thing in common, and that is a nose tackle and a defensive pass rush that gets up the field and got into his face. Quarterbacks don't like that. In fact, it's kind of like a trash compactor because that push in the middle, just having a body that's not moving, makes the defensive ends that much more effective because the quarterback can't step up. And he can't just take off. Now, Jarran Reed, looking at his stats, let's pull it down here. Sorry, I've not sat here in a while, so I'm a little behind. Last year, 6.5 sacks. 2 years before, 2018, 10.5 sacks. Getting that from a defensive tackle is huge. 38 tackles, 20 solos, 18 assists, 5 tackles for loss, and 14 quarterback hits. You put that in the middle of that defense is going to be a beast. And here's the thing. Because he's a beast, because he occupies space, teams are going to have to be concerned with double teaming him. Because, see, what a nose tackle's job is to keep the linebackers clean. They're the no glory guys. They are the guys that your job is to keep the guards from going upfield. That's it. If you happen to get sacks and tackles, great. But we want the linebackers to make the tackles. And if he can keep the linebackers clean, that improves Jalen Smith. That improves Leighton Vander Esch. And if you are reducing the amount of time that the quarterback has to throw, if you are in the quarterback's face so he doesn't have a clear view of the field, if you do not allow the quarterback to step up, you're going to get more turnovers. And the cornerbacks and safeties don't have to hold up as long in pass coverage. And here's the other effect. He clogs up the middle, which means teams just can't run up the gut like they've been doing for years against the Dallas Cowboys. So for me, hearing that the Cowboys are exploring the possibility of signing a Jarran Reed says to me that the Dallas Cowboys are doing exactly what I'd hoped to, and that is being all in on this season. Because this season, free agents are signing one-year deals or taking team-friendly deals to get jobs because other teams don't have the money. The Cowboys have been fortunate that they only restructured 3 contracts: Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins. They got Dak's deal done where it's team-friendly. They can easily get as much cash as they want to. If they want to sign KJ Wright and Jarran Reed and their rookies and go for somebody else, they can do that. Other teams have had to go through and gut the roster and restructure contracts just to get down to 0. And this could be the game changer that helps the Dallas Cowboys get a couple more turnovers, get a few more stops, get the ball in good field position for our offense to be able to do things. And this, my friends, could be the beginning of trying to get this team back to an NFC championship. I don't want to try and put expectations out there, but these are the kind of moves that you're going to have to make to get yourself back into that equation. So I'm excited. I'm nervously excited. I would love to hear that we sign KJ Wright. It'll probably happen while I'm in the air on the way to Los Angeles. But if it does, hey, I'll be happy to talk about it when I am on the ground because that would be huge. All right, guys, I've got to clean myself up because nobody wants to be sitting next to somebody on an airplane who's all dusty like me. And I got to finish getting everything packed because, well, I need to have everything packed so I can have what I need when I go on this trip. Hope you guys have a great Sunday, and I will see you soon. And remember one thing for me. Some of you out there are getting stuff from Juan Cruz to Gina C. to Gina Thorne and David Wiley and stuff. Do me a favor. If you can share a picture of you with your merchandise, I would appreciate it, so that way I can add you onto our video and things. And tomorrow night I won't be here in the man cave for my live stream. So wherever I am, I'll be sure to do some kind of a live stream. But I've got to take care of some really important business. So I will see you guys later on. Have a great Sunday. Peace.